जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। गुरुराराधना दिश्च गुरुः परमदैवतम् गुरोः परतरं नास्ति कृपालु गुरवे नमः। आनन्दमानन्द करप्रसन्नं प्रेमस्वरूपं ब्रजभावयुक्तं योगीन्द्रमीड्यं भवरोगवैद्यं गुरुं कृपालुं प्रणमामि नित्यं। गुरुं कृपालुं प्रणमामि नित्यं। गुरुं कृपालुं प्रणमामि नित्यम्। Dear devotees of God, on the first day of this spiritual retreat, on Sunday, I started explaining a very meaningful kirtan of Jagadguru Tam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, which can be found in his scripture called Yugal Madhuri, one of Shri Maharajji's kirtan books. The kirtan is Sadhana Karu, Sadhana Karu, Sadhana Karu, Pyare. So far it has been disclosed that the Guru says to the disciple, do sadhana. He implores the disciple to do sadhana, to practice devotion. Why? Because there are two kinds of devotion, two kinds of bhakti. Bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya. The Bhagavatam says devotion begets devotion. First, you practice devotion, and then through the practice of devotion, your heart becomes cleansed, it becomes purified, it becomes pavitra, and then into that purified heart, God pours divine love through the Guru. So through the Guru, God gives divine love to that disciple who has become pure-hearted. So there is one devotion that we need to practice that is called sadhana bhakti. The other devotion is given as a gift to one who has purified his heart, and that is Siddha Bhakti, Divya Prem. The Guru says, practice devotion so that the vessel of your heart may become eligible to contain the divine love of Sri Radha and Krishna. Sadhana te hi mile tohi sadhya hari rati pyare. Pratham Shraddha Yukta Hoja Sharan Guru Pad Pyare. The first step is to surrender to the Guru's lotus feet with faith and reverence. Without faith, we cannot attain anything, neither in the world, material world, nor in the spiritual world. In the world, we cannot gain anything without trusting people, without having faith. Otherwise, if you don't have faith, if you have doubts all the time on everyone, then you cannot get anything done. You will not succeed in the material world if you have doubts. So we put our faith in the worldliest of people. We put faith in people who are strangers to us. Every time we board a flight, we are putting our life in the hands of the pilot. We are trusting the pilot. Every time someone goes through a surgery, that someone is trusting the surgeon. We trust the doctors, we trust nurses, we trust We trust the banker, we trust everyone. Every time we go to the restaurant, we trust that poison is not going to be mixed in our food. It doesn't even occur to us. We have so much faith in the world. The world that is not worthy of our trust, we trust that world, but we do not necessarily have that faith in God or in the Guru. We need to have faith, Shraddha. Shraddha. First, become equipped with Shraddha, then approach the Guru. Without faith, without your faith, the Guru will not be able to give you anything. The Guru is a magnet, you see. Guru is a magnet, but is our heart pure iron? Only pure iron is attracted by the magnet. And so, how do we become like pure iron? How does our heart become like pure iron? A heart that is filled with faith, Shraddha, is that iron. And the magnet in the form of the Guru will attract that heart immediately. Some people go to the Guru and they are immediately drawn to the Guru. Some people say, he speaks well, very nice, but they're not impacted as much as the other family member who is immediately drawn to that Guru. Another person in the family is not at all drawn, and yet another family member says, oh, he's just an imposter. He dismisses a true Guru to be an imposter. It all has to do with being pure iron. It all has to do with having faith. So, pratham shraddha yukta ho ja, sharan guru pad pyare, surrender to the Guru. What does surrender mean? We went over that. And that is, Guru ki buddhi mein jod nij buddhi hai sharan yah pyare. To attach your faulty intellect to the Guru's divine intellect is what surrendering to the Guru means. This means that we must obey the Guru's instruction, never doubting the Guru. After having had complete experience of the Guru, of the Guru's divinity, after listening to his teachings, getting answers to our questions, learning how to do sadhana from him, and then reaping the fruits of that sadhana, that devotional practice, then we must have faith in the Guru and we must surrender to the Guru. We must attach our faulty intellect to the Guru's divine intellect. We must obey him now. And this is how much I had covered last time. Now we begin. We continue. तन ते मन ते धन ते गुरु की करहु सेवा प्यारे. तन ते मन ते धन ते गुरु की करहु सेवा प्यारे. करहु सेवा प्यारे. Serve the Guru with body, mind, and wealth. Serve him physically, mentally, and financially. Serve him with everything you have. Bhagwan Shri Krishna says in the Bhagavad, this is Canto 10, chapter 80, verse 34. Bhagwan says, O Uddhav, Nahamijya prajatibhyam, Nahamijya prajatibhyam. O Uddhav, I am not pleased with the individual who follows the path of dharma, the one who is doing his duties as prescribed by varnashram dharma. I'm not pleased with him. I am not pleased with someone who has lots of gyan, lots of knowledge. He has accumulated by reading lots of scriptures. That doesn't impress me. That does not please me. I am not pleased with the person who subjects his body to extreme heat or extreme cold, or who stands on one leg for years and years, who gives up eating and he just lives on water, and then he gives up even water. He lives only by breathing. That doesn't impress me. It doesn't please me. But Guru Shushrushaya Yatha, I am very pleased with the one who serves his Guru. The one who serves the true Guru pleases me greatly, O Uddhav. So, Bhagwan himself has said that the seeker must serve the Guru in order to please God. We cannot serve God directly until we reach his divine kingdom. Until we reach Golok, we cannot serve him directly, but we can certainly serve God by serving the Guru. There's no difference between God and the one who has attained God. No difference. There is no difference between God and Guru. So says sage Narad in Narad Bhakti Darshan. Tasmin stajjane bhedabhavat. तस्मिन भगवान में और तज्जने उनके जन में जिन्होंने भगवान को प्राप्त कर लिया उनमें कोई भेद नहीं है. तस्मिन तज्जने भेदाभावात. Why does he say there is no difference between God and Guru? God is God, Guru is Guru. Narad ji says there is no difference. Why does he say this? Because the one who has attained God has attained all the property of God. He has all the qualities of God. He has all the powers of God. How is that possible? It's only possible when God gives someone all his property. There's no other way. God has to gift everything he has, and he does that to the one who surrenders. So Guru is one who is fully surrendered to God, so God has given him all his property. Does that mean that God is left with nothing? No. He has unlimited knowledge, and although he gives unlimited knowledge to the Guru, he still remains with unlimited knowledge. God is happiness, or you can say that God has unlimited happiness. So even if he gives unlimited happiness to the Guru, to the surrendered one, God still has unlimited happiness. Because unlimited minus unlimited equals unlimited. So God has given unlimited happiness, unlimited knowledge, unlimited everything to the Guru, and this is why the Guru is equal to God. It looks like they're two different personalities, but actually they are one. Acharyam mam vijaniyan navamanyet karhichit namartya buddhya Suyet Sarvadeva Mayo Guru. Canto 11, chapter 17, verse 27, Bhagavad Mahapuran. Again, Sri Krishna himself is saying, know the Guru to be myself. In the Garuda Puran, Bhagwan Vedavyas talks about bhakti. What is bhakti? He defines bhakti. He says bhakti, the word bhakti, or devotion, is derived from the root word bhaj. Bhaj means seva. Bhaj ityesha vaidhatu sevayam parikirtitah tasmat seva budhai prokta bhakti sadhana bhuyasi. So the word bhakti actually means service, lovingly serving God. That is what devotion is. That is what bhakti is, according to Bhagwan Vedavyas, who tells us this in Garuda Puran. Shri Krishna says to Arjun in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 34. Tad vidhi pranipaten pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Arjun, the one who wishes to attain God must serve the Guru. He must serve the enlightened teacher, the one who knows God. The disciple must serve the Guru. Serve him how? Chetas tat pravanam seva tat siddhyais tat tanu vittaja. Again, with tan, man, dhan, in every possible way. These are the three things we have that we can offer to God and to Guru. We have our body, so we may render physical seva. Everyone has certain amount of wealth. Some have more, some have less, but everyone has money. When Maharaji used to tell us that when the Banaras Hindu University was being built, was being constructed, people were asked to donate. So amongst the many donations that came in, amongst the many donors who came forward, there was a beggar. And he had begged for money and he gave a few coins. And the person who was building this university, the one who was in charge, his eyes filled with tears and he said, now I am certain that this university will be built. Everyone has some amount of money to give. So financial seva. And then the best seva of all, the main seva is mental seva. Thinking about serving, always thinking, I'm serving God and Guru in this way. Now in this way, Ashtayami seva is perfect. 24-hour seva, from waking Sri Krishna up to putting him to sleep. It's all done in the mind. Let's say someone does not have any money whatsoever. There's nothing, he has nothing. All right, he cannot do financial seva, can he? And let's say that he is also not able to physically do any service. He's not able to physically render service. It's not his fault. He just cannot do it. He's not able. So he has lost his limbs. He has he doesn't have legs, and he has lost his arms. He is disabled in some way. He cannot serve physically. God will not find him to be at fault. He just cannot do it. But everyone has a mind. So even this man who has no money, even this fellow who has no money and cannot render physical seva, he can certainly do Roop Dhyan. He can use his mind. Everyone has a mind. And so he can think about serving God and Guru. And that is the best seva of all. Manasi seva. Manasi seva. Mana meaning the mind. So should we just do seva in the mind? We don't need to spend a penny. We don't need to get tired doing physical seva. No. That would not be acceptable. Why? Because you're able to serve physically, you must. You're able to serve financially, you must. Not to gratify God or Guru, but for your own good. Tanu pavitra seva kiye, dhan pavitra diye daan. मन पवित्र हरि भजन से इस विधि हो कल्याण. Saint Kabir has said, you purify your body, your dirty material body, by using it in the service of God and Guru. You purify your impure worldly wealth by using it in the service of God and Guru. And you purify your polluted mind, he says, by meditating on God and Guru. So we purify our wealth, we purify our body by using these, both of them, in the service of God and Guru. So Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj is saying, Tanate, manate, dhanate, Guru ki karahu seva pyare. Dear disciple, serve your Guru with body, mind and wealth. When Bhagwan Sri Ram visited Shabri, fulfilling her lifelong dream, when he visited her, she asked, Prabhu, please teach me about devotion. What is the correct method of practicing devotion? Bhagwan Ram said, Shabri, you already are a perfect devotee. But since you are asking for the welfare of others, I shall tell you. Bhagwan Sri Ram taught Navadha Bhakti to Shabri, ninefold devotion. 9 principles of devotion were explained by him. Guru Pad Pankaj Seva Tisari Bhagati Aman. Out of the 9 principles of devotion, the third one is, O Shabari, you must serve the lotus feet of a true Guru. Every seeker The seeker must serve the lotus feet of his Guru. Bhagwan Ram himself, the Lord himself has said this. So Bhagwan Sri Ram has said this, Bhagwan Sri Krishna, same personality, different yug, different era. So God has said many times in different dissensions, during different avatars, that Guru must be served. And that is not because the Guru needs anything. He has no need of anything. He has God. He has God. He doesn't need anything or anyone. But we do need to serve him. I remember back in 90 or 91, when Shama Sham Dham, our ashram in Vrindavan, was being constructed. And I was privileged enough to be there. And Sri Maharaji was talking to us all. And he said that all of you should help in constructing this ashram. In other words, you should all put in funds together and complete this project. And he said, I know, and he used to speak very lovingly to us. He used to call us bacche, his children. Shri Maharaji said, लेकिन अगर हमारे सारे बच्चे लापरवाह हो जाते हैं, फिर भी ये आश्रम तो बनेगा ही बनेगा, लेकिन फिर तुम लोगों को सेवा का अवसर कैसे मिलेगा? ये तो हम बना ही लेंगे, लेकिन तुम लोग तो वंचित रह जाओगे ना सेवा से. Shri Maharaj said, I know that my children will get this ashram built, but even if all of my children become lazy and careless, I can get this ashram built myself. However, I will feel sorry for you that you have been deprived of this opportunity to serve. That is the attitude that we must have, that I am privileged that I have been given the opportunity to serve. This is my privilege. Privilege, absolute privilege, great, great privilege. When we serve our Guru, we must not have the slightest bit of pride. Oh, I've given so much. Sri Maharaji did not tolerate anyone who would come to him and who would say to him, and people did, Maharaji, I will give 100,000 rupees, 500,000 rupees, 1,000,000 rupees, but my condition is, Sri Maharaji would cut that person off right then and say, no conditions. If you wish to give just like that. I'm not going to put your name anywhere. I'm not going to put your initials anywhere. But everywhere in India, you see that even if someone has donated a ceiling fan, the name is there. Family name is there, parents' name is there. He tries to get in everybody's name. Can you put in my grandparents' names as well? The whole family name is there, so many people. In other words, let everybody be known that I donated that ceiling fan. This is not the right spirit of giving. Even the left hand should not know what the right hand is giving. Thou, when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand giveth. The Bible. So Christ had said, do not let even your left hand know what your right hand is giving. In other words, so that your donation, your charity may be in private. There should be no desire to be advertised as a donor. God and Guru need nothing from us. But they pretend, the Guru pretends he needs something. Oh, if you don't do it, then this will not be done. And he creates a sense of urgency because we don't do anything unless it's urgent. And then there's Maharaji would say, oh, it's very urgent, we need to get this much money by this time, and then everybody would become very active. If he had said, I don't really need it, I can do it myself, he did say it that one time, but ordinarily, he would create a sense of urgency because he wanted everyone to gain the benefit. Remember, in Kali Yuga, we are living in Kali Yuga, and prakat chari pad dharma ke kali maha ek pradhan yen ken vidhi dine udan kare kalyan. Ramcharitmanas says, in other words, Bhagwan Sri Ram says in Ramcharitmanas that in the age of Kali, in Kali Yuga, charity, doing charity gives you immense benefit, spiritual benefit. We have the example of King Harishchandra. He lived in Treta Yuga, But he was able to attain God realization because of the service he rendered to his guru. Financial service. He gave away everything. He did the Rajasuya Yajna, and the Rajasuya Yajna was such that it was such an intense yajna, such an intense ceremony, Vedic ceremony, that he had to give everything away. So in those days, kings would give everything away. Harishchandra did that. He gave everything, his palace, his treasury, everything. And he, his wife, and his child, they all left the palace because the Guru said, you can't live in the palace anymore, it's mine. Harishchandra said, yes, Maharaj, it's not mine. He did so much more. Guru tested him, and he passed all the tests. So on the merit of charity, Harishchandra attained the supreme abode of God. When we serve our Guru with body, mind, and wealth, we become detached from the world. And that is what we want. We become detached from the world. It's very difficult to give, isn't it? Very difficult to give. We think of giving and then we say, sometime later, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. I've got to get this done at home. And then the mind says, no, give it. Okay, but not so much. Let me give half. There was a lady in satsang, she said, Didiji, I'm just waiting for the lottery. I'll win the lottery and then I'll give half the money away. I'll give you half. I smiled and I said, oh, I see, half. After some time, this true story, she said, I think I'll give probably 1/3 of it. 1/3, okay? And she kept on saying, I think I'll give 1/4 of it, definitely, because I've got to give to the kids too. And then, gradually it was, I'll give some. Mind you, she hasn't won anything, and there's no likelihood of her winning. But even in her mind, that avarice, that miserliness is there, and she doesn't have anything, but she's thinking, when I do get it, I'll give half of it, and I'll give 1/3 of it, I'll give 1/4 of it, I'll give a little bit of it away. It's very difficult to give. I think Sri Maharaji's crowning glory is that he taught people of Kali Yuga to give, and not just give, to give with happiness. Sri Maharaji's students, disciples feel happy giving. If they don't feel happy giving, that means they haven't learned the lesson yet. Sri Maharaji accomplished this almost impossible task of making people want to give. I want to give. Not that I'm even being asked to give. I want to give. What is this money good for? I have enough for my needs, basic needs. So in Kali Yuga, we must pay special attention to charity, and not charity to just anyone, but charity to the Divine One. We must serve God. But how do we serve God? We can't until we go to Golok. So serve the Guru. Serve the Guru's mission. Serve the Guru's mission, and that is serving the Guru. And purify your body, your wealth, and your mind. When we serve our Gurudev physically and financially, make no mistake about it, it's only then that we are able to do Rup Dhyan properly. We are able to do Rup Dhyan very effectively. God and Guru do not enter the mind until, they don't enter substantially, until we start serving them to the best of our ability. We tend to give the least we have, but we always desire the most from God and Guru. We want that we get sab kuch, everything from God and Guru, complete grace. If God says, should I give you some grace? Give me your complete grace. God says, give me your everything. I'll give you kuch kuch. You give me sab kuch, I'll give you kuch kuch. I'll give you a little bit, something, you give me your everything. God and Guru do not need anything. When Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans heard one day that in the Dakshineshwar temple where he was staying, there had been a theft overnight. And Mathur Babu, the son-in-law of Rani Rashmani, who was the one who had built the temple, and she had great faith in Ramakrishna Paramhans. So Rani Rashmani's son-in-law Mathur Babu, he said to the saint, he said to Ramakrishna Paramhans, oh, it's very disgusting, it's really terrible that there was a theft in Sri Krishna's temple last night. And Sri Krishna couldn't even protect his own jewelry, his own ornaments. Shame on him, said Mathur Babu. Ramakrishna Paramhans heard this and he said, shame on you, you worldly fellow. Shame on you that you think that those trinkets made of gold and silver with gems and jewels are of any value to God. They're of no value to God, but you think they're so valuable. And you thinking that God is powerless, he could not protect his ornaments. To him, those ornaments are like dirt is to you. They mean nothing to him, but they mean so much to you. So you are making this very, very terrible statement, this damaging statement. Sri Maharaj Ji has filled this kirtan with so much knowledge of the Vedas, Upanishads, Purans, Gita, Ramayana, and so many other scriptures. He always filled his compositions with so much philosophy. It was always like Gagar mein Sagar. It was like a little pot, earthen pot, and he would pour an ocean full of knowledge into it. And that is the case with sadhana karu, pyare. Brahm maya jeev ka karu, gyan guru so pyare. Brahm maya jeev ka karu, gyan guru so pyare. Gyan guru so pyare. Dear disciple, learn about Brahma, Jeev and Maya from the Guru. These three are the three eternal entities as told to us by the Vedas. Etaj gyeyam nityamevatma sanstham natah param veditavyam hi kinchit bhokta bhogyam preritarancha matva sarvam proktam trividham brahma metat. Shvetashvatara Upanishad, chapter 1, mantra number 12, tells us that there are three entities that are eternal. They are unborn and they are undying. One is Brahma, one is Jeev, one is Maya. The Supreme Lord, the individual soul, and Maya, the deluding potency of God. We must gain knowledge of all these three. We ourselves are Jeev, we are Jivatma, we are individual spirit souls. Our essence is the soul, Atma, the spirit. That is who we are. We must gain the knowledge of the Supreme Soul. And we must gain the knowledge of Maya that is blocking our vision of God. We are here, God is here, Maya is in between. Maya has to be, the veil of Maya has to be lifted so that we can see God clearly. So we must know about Maya. We must know about Brahma. Why? We must know so much about God. We must find out. Because if we don't know who He is, how can we have the desire to know Him? If we don't know how we are related to God, how the individual soul is related to the Supreme Soul, there will be no desire to know Him. And then when we start knowing Him, when we start gaining His knowledge, then we need to also know at the same time all about Maya. What is this Maya? Maya. Narad Muni, enacting worldly pastimes, he asked his Lord once, what is Maya? Narad Muni is God Himself. He's not just a sage or saint. He is a partial manifestation of God. His name is very interesting, Narad. Narasyedam naram naram dyati iti naradaha. Every word in Sanskrit has a definite meaning. So Narad means one who destroys mankind's ignorance. And who can do that? He is a partial manifestation of Brahma. Narad Muni is the eternal servant of Bhagwan Mahavishnu. So he's asking God, what is this Maya all about? Bhagwan said, oh Narad, I will tell you sometime later, but right now my throat is parched, I'm very thirsty. Please fetch me some water. Narad Muni went to a nearby reservoir of water, and as he was filling this vessel that he had with water, he came upon a very beautiful, lovely young maiden. She was so beautiful, he immediately became infatuated with her. So infatuated that she had filled her earthen pot with water and she was on her way home. He followed her. He went to her home, met with her father, expressed the desire to marry her. He asked for her hand in marriage. He asked her father. He was granted the permission. He was given permission to marry her. He married her. A few years later, the father-in-law died and he left Narad, his son-in-law, all his property. So Narad and his wife were living in comfort and they had children. And so Narad now was a householder. He was so happy in his little grihasthi. But once there was a torrential rainfall and the river flooded, and the flood was so strong, the current of the river was so strong that it took away lots of trees and homes, and Narad Muni's home was no exception. And now Narad Muni is holding on to his wife, they're holding on, he and his kids and his wife, they're all holding on to him for dear life. But the current of the water was too strong, and one by one, they all became separated from him. He was left all alone. He managed to reach the shore, and there he was, weeping so bitterly, crying. Imagine a man who loses his wife and his children and his property. He has nothing left. He was wailing with sadness. There was so much grief in his heart. And just then he felt a hand on his shoulder. He looked up, and there's Bhagwan Mahavishnu asking him, where's my water? Narad Muni said, Maharaj, how long has it been? I forgot all about the water you had asked for. Narad, for you many years, for me just a moment. Maharaj, what happened? Narad, you wanted to know what Maya is? You have experienced Maya. I sent you on a mission. Similarly, God has sent us on a mission. We're on a mission to know God, to love God, and to reach God. But Narad, I sent you on a mission, you became distracted. And that is Maya. That distraction is Maya. For us also, the distraction is Maya. We become distracted. God said to us, go and I'll give you birth as a human. Now love me, worship me, get to know me, love me, and come to me, come home to me. You belong to me, but you've never come home. So we were on this noble, noble mission, but we became distracted. The scriptures tell us God is everything to us. We have every possible relationship with Sri Krishna. Every possible relationship. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Gandhari is saying this to Sri Krishna. Tvameva mata, you are my only mother and my only father. You are my only brother and my only friend. You are my only wealth and my only knowledge. You are my one and only. God is our one and only. And yet we have become distracted and we have accepted people of the world to be our one and only, to be our flesh and blood. How much attachment we have to them, how much attachment we have to our worldly things. And we know that life is short and one day we'll have to leave it all behind. But how much attachment we have, that is Maya. So we must get to know what Maya is so that we may stay clear of Maya, so that we may become strengthened with the Guru's grace, so that we may become strong to combat Maya, to not become overwhelmed by Maya. We must know Jeev, about Brahma, Jeev and Maya. And only Guru can tell us. Someone who is half-baked, someone who has a little knowledge of scriptures, or even a lot of knowledge of scriptures, but is not a guru, will not be able to tell us conclusively about Brahma, Jeev and Maya. Because he only knows what he has heard. He only knows what he has memorized. And what he has memorized, that is not his practical experience. He's speaking not from the heart, but just from here. He just knows. He's speaking from his mind that he has heard this, he has read this, and he is telling us this. But a guru has not only memorized some knowledge of scriptures, he is living that knowledge. That knowledge it's his. He has not memorized it. He doesn't know it because he has read it. Sri Maharaj Ji would say from time to time that these scriptures are standing before me and they are asking me, they're begging me to reveal their true intent to the world. When Sri Maharaj Ji was explaining some of the aphorisms, sutras of Narad Bhakti Darshan, which has 84 sutras, I was in Mangar, and I was one of those lucky ones listening to Sri Maharaj Ji give spontaneous lectures. One day he just got up and he said, he was on his way to the sadhana hall, and he said, oh, let me start talking about Narad Bhakti Darshan, out of the blue. And he gave many days of lectures. I believe it was 11 days of lectures on Narad Bhakti Darshan. So one day, Sri Maharaj Ji said in the lecture, these 84 sutras are going around in my mind like worms. Each one of them is saying to me, talk about me, talk about me. And I remember getting goosebumps when Sri Maharaj Ji said that. So I heard this with my own ears, so that's my own experience. And then I have heard about the time many, many, many years ago when I was not in satsang, perhaps I wasn't even born then. Sri Maharaj Ji was living in the house of very great, good devotees, very surrendered devotees. And that gentleman said to Maharaj Ji, I'm hearing voices coming from your room, but I know nobody's in your room. I'm hearing some male voices, I'm hearing female voices. Sometimes I'm hearing Sanskrit being spoken, and sometimes it's a language I do not understand. Maharaj Ji, please tell me. He knew about Maharaj Ji's divinity. He wanted Maharaj Ji to reveal what was going on in the room privately. Sri Maharaj Ji said many times to him, have you gone mad? There's no one in my room. You're hearing things. But one day, it was a Sunday, and the gentleman asked again, Maharaj Ji, you have to tell me. You have to tell me. Who comes to your room? Maharaj Ji then said, the Vedas come to my room in their personified form, and they're telling me to reveal their knowledge to the world. And after this, Sri Maharaj Ji started giving lectures. Earlier, he would only do Sankirtan. But after this, Sri Maharaj Ji started speaking from the scriptures. This is before he was Jagat Guru, before he became Jagat Guru. So only the Guru can tell us what is in the scriptures. Only the Guru can give us Gyan. Guru binu hoi ki Gyan, says Ramcharitmanas. Tulsidas Ji asks, do you think you can acquire knowledge without a Guru? That's impossible. Knowledge can only be given by someone who has complete knowledge. Only he can give us true knowledge. The other fellow will take us halfway, and then he only knows that much. And then after that, what do? He abandons us because he doesn't know anymore. So learn about Brahma, Jeev, and Maya, but learn from a qualified Guru. Learn from a genuine Guru who is Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam, one who has complete knowledge of all scriptures, and one who is God-realized, who has practical knowledge of God. I will conclude these words, to be continued. बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.